So I was thinking about getting ready to start practice for this coming week, week 15 in the series, and realized that I hadn't really finished out week 14 since I kind of stopped practicing prematurely. And then I wasn't even in there all of week 13, and it'll have been about 2 weeks since I've done any kind of practicing on this at all. Well, other than the one session last week, week 14, that really didn't go very well. It was quite discouraging as far as having motivation to come back in here and try it all again. It's not my intent to make this some kind of pseudo inspirational video or some kind of apology or some kind of excuse video. Oh, everything's so hard in the world outside. My life really sucks. Compared to 99% of human beings who've ever lived, including most royalty, my life is objectively better in goddamn near every way. That doesn't mean it doesn't have hard parts, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have challenges. The same way that your life is going to have hard parts and challenges, and you may not have the perfect means of reacting to them. I don't have the perfect toolkit for reacting to them mentally, emotionally, so forth. I usually sink down into old destructive habits of mine that have kind of kept me in a kind of static holding pattern in my life for the past, oh hell, let's just call it a decade. Why not? Actually, it's probably been longer. It's probably been about half my life. But again, it is not meant to be some kind of pseudo inspirational, oh, I'm fighting against my hardships. I'm just being a fuck up. A lot of things like challenges at work, uh, self doubts, all of the time that I'm pouring into making this video series, which has been kind of a double edged sword. At least it seems like it to me at this point, because on one hand, it's the thing that's kind of been keeping me going this long is I don't want to abandon the series. I already have so many videos up. I've already sunk so much time into it. But then on the other hand, that's the problem. It eats up a lot of time. I have to come home, and regardless of how tired I am, I have to come in here and either practice and or edit, oftentimes both, during most of my free time, if I want to have even a hope of having a few hours put together during my weekends to be able to do anything other than practice and edit and eat. Oh, and fritter away time watching YouTube videos like this one. Kind of a weird self-hate thing going on there. Making the very thing that I am actively accusing of wasting my time when I'm on the other side of the camera watching it. I know it's forcing me to make this. Honestly, I could drop these out at any time, probably at any time for the remainder of the year, and no one would notice, no one would care. But I would. I'd know. It would be one more notch in the failure post, one more thing to look back on as evidence and proof positive that I don't actually have it in me to do anything, meaningful. Um, but god damn, it's hard. It's really hard, especially when it feels like it's all for naught, which it does a lot of the time. But I do look back at some of the videos while I'm editing the old ones that from a couple of weeks ago at this point. And there's still something there, you know. There's still a way forward by looking backwards. I don't even know what this means or what I'm saying. But I had thought about just combining week 14 and week 15 into one mega video, although that would have made it overly long. No one wants to watch an overly long video of a person plinking away at a keyboard with a gray background and usually a very plain shirt. Maybe I could do something about those things. Surface level though they be. Though probably not this week. I wanted to keep the videos separate and distinct, the weeks separate and distinct. That feels more honest. That feels more in line with what I'm trying to do. Not hide the difficulties, not hide the failures, not hide when I fall behind or when I feel bad or when I feel overwhelmed or overworked, when I just can't drag myself in here for a week, 2 weeks. That's all part of it. And that's the whole reason that I've been filming all of it. Because for almost everyone, all of these parts are part of it. And they're usually the parts that make you stop, make you quit. And then, like I said in week 0, which, go ahead and watch it if you haven't. These multiple attempts and then quitting over and over again creates this reinforced cycle of failure that just makes you feel like shit and makes you wonder what's the point of even trying to start in the first place? I'm just gonna stop again. And I don't want to say I'm trying to set an example. That sounds pretty lofty and big-headed of me. But betting on my future self that I can push through these and show the long, slow, difficult way that it is possible. Sometimes it's just hard for me to believe that myself. But at the very least, there will be a week 15 and hopefully week 16 and 17 and on and on and on. I have plans, I have ideas. It's just a matter of mustering together the will and the motivation. And I come home and I just collapse onto my sofa and we'll spend the next 5 hours just not even being able to muster a thought, just blindly wasting time, hating the day that I just had and dreading the day that I'm going to have tomorrow. And I cannot work up the mental energy to come in here and fail at this over and over again, since that's part of the process of learning it, is failing it over and over again. As you've seen in all the prior videos, there's a lot of failure, and I only show a little bit of it. Most of those sped up sections sound very similar to all of those failure compilations. I guess that's all I really had to say. I just wanted to try not to give excuses, but try to explain reasons. And maybe not vow to do better, because I think words like that are usually pretty empty, even if you say them to yourself. Maybe especially if you say them to yourself. But at least get on camera to save and look back on later that I do want to do better. I do recognize that I need to do better. And Only time will tell if I'm going to be able to actually accomplish it. If you'd like to see how I got this far, you can either click up here or the link in the description below to catch the entire series from the very beginning. And if you want to find out where I go from this point, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you know when I upload next. Let's see what, if anything, I learn next time. My fly's been open this whole time. I wonder if that's been able to be visible through the entire video. Hopefully not, because I wasn't wearing any underwear. So hopefully people aren't seeing my dick.